Ladies and gentlemen, on this day, February 27th, 2021, a new era is upon us. It is the dawning of a brand new league and a new series to come along with it. Welcome to the Daytona International Speedway, where today we will host our first of 12 races of the 2021 season of the RCOM Pepsi Amateur Series. 34 cars lined up on pit road. We're ready to go. This is going to be very exciting. It'll be very fun, but very interesting to watch. As these drivers climb into these race cars for the first time ever, we'll see speeds of up to 200 miles per hour. We could potentially see 3-wide action, even 4-wide action possibly, if these drivers are very gutsy enough. But then again, it is Daytona, and this is not as wide as Talladega. Pretty obvious to say right there, but nonetheless, it's not going to impede the fact that we're going to see 30 laps of exciting action here at the World Center of Racing. In order to get this new era completely ushered in, we got to get this party started. The drivers are strapped into their cars. Pre-race ceremonies are just now starting to wrap up, but in order to get these 34 behemoths rolling out onto the racetrack, we got to get the command to fire the engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there it is. Engines have fired, pace car is rolling off, and so are these 34 competitors. And as they roll out for their pace laps, here is your starting lineup for the Reds Wicked Ale 200 here at Daytona. Drivers have just taken one to go, and we are ready to go racing here at the Daytona International Speedway. They work off of turn 2 down the back straightaway at 70 miles per hour. Track facts are on the bottom left hand side of your screen. This is definitely going to be one amazing and exciting race here at Daytona. Not very long, as usually I would do 50 to 60 lap races here at Daytona, but we're not doing that. It is 30 laps here at Daytona International Speedway, and of course, of all days, my birthday. I do turn 21 today, so that's actually pretty amazing to start off the new season, a brand new season on my birthday. But nonetheless, the drivers work their way through turns 3 and 4. On the front row, that is Jimmy Hogan and Jeffrey Holcomb. Then it's Elijah Gordon and Stephen Colon. Quentin Moore and Nathan Stapleton, they make up row 3. Then row 4 is Owen Miles and Kyler Anderson. Row 5, that is Sean Ard, and also the number 4 of Stephen Alexander. Pace car is off. Hogan, Holcomb lead him to the green to get the 2021 season started. a good clean start to this race. Hogan jumps out front. Here comes Gordon in the 27. Down to the inside. Double file for the time being. Do expect these drivers to go 3 wide a little bit later on in the race, but for right now they are double file. Who's going to lead the first lap of the brand new season? It is going to be Gordon leading lap number 1. Hogan up on the high side trying to make something happen. Quentin Moore in the 0 on the inside behind Gordon with Owen Miles, Sean Ard there in the 88, Bronson Minnick in the 22. And others lined up on the inside line as Gordon clears Jimmy Hogan for the top spot. Thought for a second Owen Miles was going to try to make it 3 wide for the lead, but meanwhile over here in this part we've got 3 wide. That's Kyler Anderson up at the top. And then the 23, that is Val Moscow on the bottom. And then Stephen, I'm not sure which. But Stefan Alexander is in the middle. And then we have another part of the... Then we got actually 3 different places in the pack that we're 3 wide. That's the 55 of Carter Joey. Mitchell Collins on the bottom. And Foster Henderson up top. Then Amy Wilderotter in the 5 in the middle back there. So we do have some drivers that are in the sucker hole quite early in this race, but meanwhile up front it is still Gordon versus Moore. Right now Quentin Moore has the advantage as they work their way off of turn 4 at speeds of 195 miles per hour. Quentin Moore leads lap number 3. Now the way that the point system is going to work, it is going to be a strict points championship throughout these 12 races. You get 1 point for leading a lap, you get 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, and 10 bonus points for winning the race. But you also get 34 points for finishing first. So traditionally, it's 30 for first place gets 34 points, and then last place gets 1 point. And we are 4 wide. 4 wide up at the front. Moscow, Alexander in the middle. Are we going to get out of this one? We do. That was Moscow and Alexander in the middle. And then Kyler Anderson and Stephen Wallace Jr. in the 9 on the bottom side. But they were able to pull things off and keep things clean. And we're still green here in the Reds Wicked Ale 200 here at Daytona. Looks like Owen Miles is trying to make something happen in that 46. Thought he was going to try to get to the inside of Quentin Moore and Elijah Gordon, but so far, not been the case. As right now, it's still double file. Let's scroll back through here. You got Allison Rain in the 7, who's in the middle line. Way in the back here in this race. But so far, early in the going, almost a 5th into the books, and everybody is still running very, very consistent, very calm. Everybody is just running their own race for the time being, but up front, it is still pretty much just a wrestling match for the lead. You got Gordon, who gets the advantage up on the outside, and then through the corners, it's Quentin Moore in the inside line that get the runs. Now that 3 wide has kind of weaved its way, or kind of weeded its way all the way to the back. That was David Byers in the 1, who is way up top. So far, everything clean and green. Everybody is just still double file for the time being. Then we come back here, actually. Blaze Aitken in the 90s in the middle. Brandon Yodel up top. There's Nelson Reeves in the 09. He's in the middle. And then you also have Addison Jarrell on the bottom side. And here we go. This 3 wide is now starting to work its way up towards the front of the field. It's already in the middle. That's Joey Miles in the 10, who is in the middle line. Ryan Fowler up top. And then also on the bottom, that's Ronald House. There's the 25, Chad Myers. But up front, looks like Gordon has been shuffled out of the front. Now he's the second car up on the top side. And now you got Owen Miles, battling for the lead on Quentin Moore as they head down the back straightaway. If you go back to October, this past October back in 2020, it was Owen Miles who ended up winning the Pumpkin 250 on a last lap pass, and it was a side-by-side finish to the line. Miles looking to continue his glorious run at super speedways, more particularly in the shape of either Daytona or Talladega, and try to win this race. He didn't fare all that well in the Christmas 300, but it was Stephen Colon that ended up going to victory lane. And Colon, at the moment, has a pretty decent shot, but remember, we're still early in the race. We're still pretty early in the race. We're almost a third of the way through. So, Stephen Colon is still a pretty good factor here, but we're just going to have to wait and see what position he's going to be in, what kind of position he's going to be in once we get down to 10 or 5 or maybe 10 laps to go. Meanwhile, back up at the front, it's still Owen Miles and Quentin Moore battling it out. Sean Ard in the 88 moves up to second. Bronson Minnick right there. Sean Ard is the second car on the inside line. Then Bronson Minnick is right behind him, third car on the inside line. But still, everybody is still double file. But everybody else is just kind of racing like it's no tomorrow on the kind of like it's the last lap. Ryan Fowler is stuck in the middle line. Alexander up top. Ronald House, and now you got Tyler Ferris in the 69 moving up to the middle. But so far, 3 wide action is not as frequent as what I thought. I did a test race of this actually, and they were 3 wide all over the place, and they eventually wrecked on the back straightaway because of 4 wide action. But it looks like up here, up at the front, we have some 3 wide. Sean Ard in the middle, Bronson Minnick up on the bottom, Quentin Moore up top. As they now work their way off of 2, heading down the back straightaway at 195 miles an hour. Right now, Owen Miles is the lone stranger up at the front of the field. He's going to get joined by Bronson Minnick to his inside. And they're going to be double file as they come off to turn number 4 up at the front of the field. But now 3 wide is now starting to weave its way to the front. Minnick leads that lap and gets a bonus point. And now you got Chris Reynolds in the 19 coming up on the inside line as they go into turn 1. Bradley Ream in the 13 is right there. Val Moscow is there. There's Stephen Wallace Jr. in the 9. Working his way up towards the front inside of the top 10. And now things are starting to get pretty dicey with less than 20 to go here in this race. Taking a look here, this is Stephen Colon's view in the number 77. Kind of deciding on what line he's going to take. Is he going to go up top? Nope, he's going to go right back down to the bottom. But this is what it looks like from the middle line, from Stephen Colon's perspective on the roof of his race car. And now from the visor cam of Mitchell Collins, this is what 3 wide action looks like in front of him from the visor view. This is exactly what Mitchell Collins and these other 33 competitors are seeing right in front of them and also behind them as well. And these spotters, man, you got to give a lot of props to them for working really hard up on the scoring box up at the top of the Daytona International Speedway grandstands. These spotters just do such an amazing job trying to navigate the drivers around the field and vice versa, but nonetheless, this is exactly what these drivers have to look at. Bradley Ream in the middle now. As we focus back up towards the front. Moscow up front. Now you got Stephen Wallace Jr. working his way to the inside. Now that 3 wide has kind of went all over the racetrack. All over this entire field. As they work their way off of 4 and head back towards the start-finish line to begin the halfway lap on lap number 15. 14 laps complete. And now this action is starting to get a little bit more spicy. More spicy than Mario's spicy meatballs, if you know what I mean. But meanwhile, Stephen Wallace Jr. has taken back the lead. I'm sorry for that little pause there. Like, I'm still really rusty at commentating, so just bear with me. I'm just getting back into it. So, like I said, and my brain will go a million miles an hour as I'm doing this too. So, apologies for that. And I'm not the best talker in the world on top of that. I know I'm going all over the place. Sorry about that. But meanwhile, back up at the front, Kyler Anderson in the 01 moves up alongside. See if Kyler leads this lap. He does. As they dive back down into turn number 1, it is double file up at the front. 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide, and more 3 wide. All the way back until you kind of get back here where double file is kind of starting to form up here. Some double file lines, that is. But they might eventually go back to 3 wide here very soon. But we're starting to get down to the nitty-gritty of this race. Reynolds in that 19 almost opened the door for Bronson Minnick to make it 4 wide, but thank goodness that did not happen. And now you have the 2, that's Ronald House, leading a lap here at Daytona. In the number 2, Chad Myers is up here. In the 25, Noah Clifton, who's kind of hung out in the back, is now moved up. 3rd car on the inside line. There's Allison Rain in the number 7. And that Ally Bank Chevy Impala, he's moved up towards the front of the field. 2 rows of double file, and then a lot of 3 wide. This action is starting to pick up. Another thing that we might also have to expect is that these drivers will have to come down to pit road with about 5 laps to go. So these drivers are not going to make it all the way to the end of the race on fuel. So we're going to have to watch for that as this race goes on, right to we get to about the 5 to go mark, as I mentioned earlier. But it's still Kyler Anderson and Ronald House going at it for first place as they roar down the back straightaway, down into turn 3. Noah Clifton thought he was going to try to make a move, but hasn't quite done that yet. Now they're starting to string out a little bit in the back. That's Addison Jarrell in the 98, who has found herself back here. Joey Miles is back here as well. But now they've both found their way to the inside line. So now they're going to try to get up towards the front. Not sure why Joey Miles decided to go up to the middle line. But either way, giving that spot in line to Addison Jarrell is the number 10 of Joey Miles. But meanwhile, focusing on this pack, this is such a monster of a pack here as they race their way off of turn number 4, heading back towards the start-finish line. How about Allison Rain, making it 3 wide, this time for 2nd. As they race back down into turn number 1, Ronald House still has it. But now it's 3 abreast for the runner-up spot. Rain moves up and might be able to get alongside Ronald House here as they go down the back straightaway. Let's see what happens getting down into turn number 3. Rain pulls up alongside of Ronald House. And now they are side by side for the lead as they come down to 10 laps to go here in the Reds Wicked Ale 200 here at Daytona. Nelson Reeves in the 09 trying to make something happen. He's going to try to make it 3 wide for the lead as they come through turns 1 and 2. Action is starting to intensify here at the World Center of Racing in the season opener of the RCOM Pepsi Amateur Series. Rain holds on to the top spot, but now she's going to get put up to the top side by Reeves. She's in the middle line, but now Reeves Reeves on the inside, is going to try to take the lead away. I'm kind of stuttering. I'm sorry about that. Billy Kidd in the 6. Haven't really talked a lot about Billy Kidd at all. Now Kidd starting to find his way up towards the front of the field and is going to challenge for the lead. Got Easton Myers in that 38, that Krispy Kreme machine. Another driver we really haven't talked about at all. Same could be said for David Byers, Amy Wilderotter in that 5. A lot of drivers that we really haven't seen up at the front are now starting to work their way up. And now they're going to have a chance to win. Including Shauna Martin, that 18, who was kind of ratting around in the middle towards the back of the field. Now she's starting to find her way up at the front. And just like some of these drivers up at the front, closer to the front of the field, they have a chance to win as well. Kidd leads lap number 22. But now finds himself in the middle line. Put there by Easton Myers. And now Myers goes up towards goes to first place. I can't even speak. Gosh, freaking darn it. But anyways, Byers in the 1, right behind Easton Myers in the 38. Things are now starting to get pretty dicey. Drivers are now starting to kind of stack up a little bit towards the middle of the field as they were trying to get drafted up towards the other drivers in front of them. I don't even know. Gosh, freaking darn it. I can't even speak. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying my best. I'm literally trying my best. But like I said, I'm a little rusty. I'm trying. But Byers, David Byers in the 1 goes to the point. Wilderotter in the 5. Now finds herself inside of the top 5. And she probably is going to try to make a run for the lead. Nope, not quite. She'll continue to look at the bumper of David Byers' Ford Fusion as they come off of turn number 4. It is going to be 6 to go. Brandon Yodel makes the move to the inside of Wilderotter, and he's going to put her in the middle. And Byers is the lone car up front. Not so fast. Easton Myers is up on the outside. Byers slams the door, but not for long. Has to give way to Brandon Yodel, who has a pretty good run as they come off of turn number 2 and they race down the 3,000-foot back straightaway towards the 5 fingers that will be held out by the official. 5 more laps around Daytona International Speedway for the season opener of the RCOM Pepsi Amateur Series, the Reds Wicked Ale 200. And here they come. 5 more laps around Daytona International Speedway. Eventually these drivers will have to come down pit road to top off on fuel. There's no way that they're going to make it whatsoever. So we're approaching that window. I think we're kind of in that window at this point. But we're going to have to watch and see what happens within probably about 4, maybe 3 or 4 laps to go. 4 laps to go at the earliest, 3 to go at the latest, to see if these drivers are going to peel off and work their way down pit road. Let's see what happens coming through turns 3 and 4. Aitken in the 90 on the inside of Carter Joey in the 55. That is for first place. 4 to go here at Daytona. Taking a look at what Noah Clifton is looking at. That Z-Loop number 25 of Chad Myers. As he is in the middle line. Now working his way alongside the 38 of Easton Myers. As they now roar down the back straightaway. Coming to 3 to go. Here at Daytona. Whoops. Aitken and Joey continuing just to race alongside of each other for the lead, coming to 3 laps to go. Like I said, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Eventually, these drivers are going to have to come down and pit. Maybe not. They're going to try to stretch it here. But Aitken and Joey are still going at it. They're still fighting hard for the top spot. Ryan Fowler in the 78 is up here as well. Coming to 2 more laps here at Daytona International Speedway. Addison Jarrell, who was in the back in last place at one point, now finds herself towards the front of the field and has a shot to win here at Daytona. I know I say Daytona so many times, but at least you guys know where we're at. The World Center of Racing. And we're down to 2 to go. Aitken and Joey have still been side by side this whole time. How about Ryan Fowler making it 3 abreast as they go into turn 1? You also have Nathan Stapleton in the 28 up here. He could try to make something happen. Watch for him. And also watch to see what happens to this field as we're coming down to it. Coming to the white flag here at the Daytona International Speedway for the season opener of the Arcon Pepsi Amateur Series. Coming around through turn 4. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go at Daytona. Fowler leads it. Will they be leading, coming back to the checkered flag? What the? Caution is out. Wait a minute. Yellow's out. Wait a minute. What? Wait a second. The caution came out. I am so confused by this. I am really, really confused by this. But I guess Ryan Fowler did lead at the stripe. What caused the what? I'm really, really confused. Right, so Ryan Fowler did take the white flag, and it looks like he's gonna come home as the winner. What caused the caution? I'm not 100% sure what caused it. We're gonna have to figure this out. Okay, but that is actually really, really, really just odd. I've never seen anything like this. So here they come off of turn 4, and it's gonna be Ryan Fowler who wins a very strange and confusing Red's Wicked Ale 200 at the Daytona International Speedway. Ryan Fowler, your winner here in Daytona. Oh my gosh. To the viewers that may be watching this, if you are confused, don't worry. I'm just as confused as you are. This could potentially be a phantom caution, maybe a debris caution that ended the race. I don't even know what just happened. But we're gonna actually figure this out, and we're gonna get back to you. So let's take a look and see. We're gonna focus on the pace car for this one and try to figure out what transpired the caution on the coming towards the white flag. So we're focusing on the pace car for this one, just to see. Okay, so the caution lights are on. What caused the caution? And who caused it too? I never noticed that the caution flag was out. Okay, so it must have been a phantom caution. I'm not sure what just happened, but that is just so confusing. Because all these drivers, we were racing. I never noticed that the caution lights were on. So this caution came out long before they took the white flag. I had no idea. But it looked like everybody was okay. It looked like everybody was... Yeah, so it must have been some sort of debris caution or a phantom caution of some sort. I'm not sure what just happened, but either way, Ryan Fowler is your winner here at Daytona. So with that, let's take a look at your finishing results for the season opener of the RCOM Pepsi Amateur Series, the Reds Wicked L200. So it is Ryan Fowler who ends up the winner here at Daytona. Addison Jarrell comes home second. Blaze Aitken comes home third. Nathan Stapleton fourth. Carter Joey completes the top five. Then it's Shauna Martin in sixth. Owen Miles seventh. Brandon Yodel eighth. Chad Myers ninth. And Tyler Ferris rounds out the top 10. Have a look at the rest of your finishing results from positions 11 through 34. Man, okay, so this must have been some sort of debris caution that ultimately ended the race, but aside from that, we saw some really good action. A lot of 3 wide, 4 wide at one point, came close to wrecking, but nonetheless, these drivers, amazingly talented. They were able to figure things out and continue 3 wide action. And I thought they were going to come down and pit, but I guess not. They didn't really have to come down pit road whatsoever. But nonetheless, it is Ryan Fowler, as I said, who is going to be going to victory lane here at the Daytona International Speedway. And that's pretty much going to do it here from Daytona. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a like. If you have not considered subscribing yet, I recommend you do so to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. Next week for the RCOM Pepsi Amateur Series, we'll be over at the Phoenix International Raceway for the let me actually take a look at the race name. I know I have it somewhere here in my notes. So, like I said, we'll be back next week at Phoenix. This is for the TikTok 150. That will be on March 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. So it should be very fun to watch here at Daytona. Hopefully you guys can join us at 6 p.m. on Friday nights, Friday evening actually, at 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific. And that pretty much is about going to do it for me. Thank you guys a lot for watching. One more time, congratulations to Ryan Fowler on getting the first win in RCOM history. And that about does it for me. I'm Elijah Leonard, signing out. And I'll see you guys in the very next one.